Local and live, covering Franklin and Washington counties, it's Let's Talk Tri-State with Tiny and Katy.
Welcome back to Let's Talk Tri-State, powered by Home Right Windows and Doors in Waynesboro, the right choice, winner in the 2024 Best of the Tri-State.
Our first guest today, we're going to be speaking with Karen Johnst, who is the Executive Director of Healthy Communities Partnership. Happy Monday afternoon to you, Karen.
Thank you very much, and thanks for inviting me.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Sure. Let's just start by talking about Healthy Communities Partnership. What is it? What's the mission?
So we are a private nonprofit we're located physically in Chambersburg, although we serve Franklin County for the most part, and I say for the most part because we also do some other counties with some of our services. But we are primarily focused on health and well-being of our youth, our families, and our communities. We started about 30 years ago under the umbrella of Summit Health when Summit was still in our area as a 501c3, and have branched out ever since then. So primarily health and wellness based, really focusing on positive health habits, positive healthy behaviors that we can involve our youth and our families getting.
Do you work within the school systems?
So we work very closely with the school systems. A lot of our programs, again, are focused on prevention. So we're doing a lot with the primary prevention, really putting out their information so that youth and families in the community are familiar with what might be going on in terms of youth substance abuse, the new trends, the current trends, the up-and-coming trends, unfortunately, which come at us faster than we would like. So we are very much in the school system. And so we do, again, the primary prevention where we're working and doing classroom lessons with K through 12 groups on those types of information. We're in the community at various events, again, sharing with the community, family members, community members, what dangers might be out there in terms of substance use or some of the other things we're looking at right now, specifically with behavioral health and some of the anxiety and depression and things that have been experienced by youth and also parents and caregivers, certainly since COVID. We also do some other programmatic things that are more, I would say they're prevention, but they're more on an intervention level, a very basic intervention level where we're really trying to work with these children and these families before things get really serious and they need some treatment or things of that nature.
I'm going to kind of assume here that one of the things that you probably are educating the youth on is vaping. I know that's been one of those trends.
Yes, it absolutely. It's one of the biggest one, and it's interesting because statistically, we work a lot. A lot of our programs are also making sure that we're gathering those statistics locally, statewide, comparing them not only to other municipalities about our size, but comparing them statewide, comparing them nationwide. And I keep hearing about we get a survey every 2 months called the Pennsylvania Youth Survey, and it just came out. And the vaping rates, interestingly enough, I mean, they're higher than they have been, but they're lower than what we're hearing on the national level. So when I go to national conferences, we think the issue is probably bigger than the kids are letting on that it is. But it is definitely one of the things that has grown exponentially since COVID, and I think a lot of that was as a coping mechanism and still is. So that's huge. But what I like to say is we always have to kind of look over the left side of the shoulder because there's always something coming up. And the biggest thing now, and this may shock some of the viewers, and some people are like, wait a minute, I don't even know what that is. It's called Zyn. It's actually a teeny tiny pouch. And if you go into a market, go into maybe one of the local shops, I don't want to say the names of some of the bigger markets where you can get things off the shelf, but you'll see it, ZYN, and they're little pouches that kids can, and they have all these terms they use, upper deck, lower deck, they put them up, they put them down, they double deck, and they're easily hidden. Vapes are easily hidden. They hide them in clothing. They hide them in bracelets, lipstick-looking things.
What's the purpose of the Zyn? What is it sold
they
for?
They have, again, it's the nicotine. It's the nicotine rush.
Okay.
They're saying that Zyn is safer because it actually isn't using the tobacco plant, but it is using some derivative, and it has nicotine in it. So again, it's getting that induction of the addiction started, and the nicotine updraft. The problem is, again, as with vaping, as with Zyn, they're using it because it's so easy. And again, a vape, they're puffing on that maybe, a pack of cigarettes has 20 cigarettes in it. So if you use a pack a day, but a vape, you could hit on 30 times in half a day. Right. And so you're getting more nicotine. So yeah, it's getting them addicted. It's getting them addicted faster, quicker.
And as with any addiction, eventually that becomes not enough.
Yes.
So then
it's more.
I used to use smokeless tobacco.
Yes.
Unfortunately, and it is just this constant.
Yes.
A lot of it becomes.
Yes.
I always said more or less something to do.
Yes.
I'm bored.
Yes.
And the harm that it could potentially have done to me.
Yes.
Was an afterthought.
Yes.
And I was just, Katy can attest to this. It was, all you.
Yep.
You would see me more using it than not.
Yeah.
It became just the way it was. And then when I quit, the best thing, in the world, I didn't have to worry about it. And it was no longer the monkey on the back when it came to that. But I was not a smoker. That's all I did.
Yeah.
But so I can totally understand. And there's something maybe you can speak to this, Karen. Am I wrong in saying that there's something with the lingual nerve?
Absolutely.
That it is the fastest to the brain, correct?
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely. Because again, you're having access right there to the nerves.
Right.
And you're getting right. And that's why Zyn is so powerful as well. And again, some of the statistics, depending on the nitration that they're getting, there's a 3 milligram and a 6 milligram. But these kids are sometimes using like 8 to 10 a day, and they're getting at least a pack and a half. If they're doing a 3 milligram, they're getting a pack and a half of cigarette, the equivalent of a pack and a half of cigarettes.
Now, is Zyn the name brand? Or
Zyn is the name brand, and there's other iterations. Mm-hmm. But again, the marketing, just like with vapes, the marketing is incredible. The latest, going back and forth, I know I'm going back and forth between Zyn and the vape, but the vapes, the most recent was, they look like highlighters. They literally look, you could not tell the vape from a highlighter.
And this is to maybe
get them into schools.
Yeah, sure.
And again, not knowing that's happened. Now the Zyn, again, is using, I can't think of the name of the gum or the name of the candy, but they're using the packaging like a candy. Mm-hmm. And so again,
almost like an Altoid.
Almost like an Altoid. They're getting them in, and they have these collector's boxes, and again, getting the kids in. Mm-hmm. And absolutely. And the thing, I think the scariest thing, we didn't know what we didn't know about tobacco and cigarettes. We didn't know what we didn't know about smokeless tobacco. Now we know some of those things. We're still catching up on the vaping. I mean, there's some serious things that are happening to our youth and individuals that are using vapes that we have no idea. Wow. So that statistical stuff has not caught up, and the health risks have not caught up.
And they're also making it to where there's no... The big trend when vaping first started was that you could have, it could smell like Fruity Pebbles.
Yes.
But now it's they make
they're
them
trying to make it
unscented
odorless.
completely.
Yeah.
So
well, the flavors were actually meant to attract youth. So interestingly enough, though, it's not a vape; it's an aerosol. So you can't call it. Who would do I'm aerosoling? Nobody would do aerosol. So they don't call it what it really is. An aerosol is not supposed to go into your lungs.
No, I remember when you were kids, people were taking aerosol cans and getting high off of those. So it's basically the same thing.
But that's the same thing. But we don't call it aerosoling. We call it vaping or,
Wow.
Interesting.
And I'm sure I have a lot of questions about this particular topic, but I want to make sure that we touch on some of your other programs.
Sure.
I know that you have a program called Check and Connect that I was researching on your website. That was pretty interesting.
It's very interesting. And it's one of those things that, fortunately or unfortunately, we've now sort of wandered into that territory with our youth. Disconnecting from school, really finding that they don't know why school's important, why they need to be in school, why they need to learn the things that they're learning. And so Check and Connect is an attachment program where it's a 2-year commitment between the student's parents have to agree to it, and then the student gets hooked up with a mentor who follows them 2 years. They meet with them weekly through the school year. They also meet with them in the summer. They'll do maybe activities with them in the summer, but really trying to get them connected with another adult so that they can start learning that they need to form healthy adult relationships. Because one of the things that we know empirically is that what makes a student successful versus another student is having at least one strong, trusted adult relationship in their lives. Now, that might be a parent. It might not be a parent. But that's what we're doing with our mentors in Check and Connect, is really trying to re-engage them in school and find out what can we do to get them back into school.
How would someone enroll their child in that program?
So usually they're identified through the school. They're either identified in one of our other programs that's called the Student Assistance Program, or they're identified by the counselor or maybe one of their teachers. A parent certainly could get them enrolled. We have several parents who call us. But we connect with them. We have sort of a rubric that we follow to see what's going on. Is it academics? Is it behavior? Is it something in terms of the activities that they're involved in before or after school? So we sort of look at all the pieces with that child and seeing what the need might be. It generally starts not lower than 4th grade, and we don't go past the 8th grade. Again, it's kind of capturing those years where, those transitional years where the students need a lot of help in understanding why school's important, and helping parents understand why school's important too.
And then the mentor stays with that child for 2 years?
Yes, that's best case scenario. Obviously, people move positions, but best case scenario is that mentor stays with that child for 2 years. If we have to transition, we make sure we make it a smooth transition. But they're following them along, they're checking grades, they're checking behavior, they're checking attendance, and really trying to find out what is going to connect that student to get them involved back in school.
Let me ask about the parents now. I think we have a responsibility now, since we have you here, Karen, to give the parents a bit of a leg up.
Yep.
What is it that parents should be looking for in their child that might speak to, well, they might be doing something they shouldn't be doing? What should parents look for?
So any change in behavior, any change in, again, sleeping behavior, eating behavior, behavior in terms of sort of isolating themselves. And again, I would say to parents, don't be afraid. It's funny, I work with a lot of folks, and our kids are all older now, and we have these conversations, but don't be afraid to go. Their bedroom is in your house. Sure. Don't be afraid to go into their bedroom. And that's, interestingly, that's one of the things that we offer, is we have a station that we set up usually at the library or in other places for parents to walk through, called a mock bedroom. So things to look for.
Interesting.
Like things that you wouldn't imagine, Q-tips, hidden things, hidden identifiers of what might be going on. Not only substance use, but behavioral issues that might be going on. How could I notice that maybe my child's depressed or anxious? Yeah.
What does the Q-tip signify?
It signifies soaking it in some type of a substance and using it in the mouth or other, so that it gets the drugs in there quicker.
Wow.
Gummy bears that are saturated in alcohol. Just crazy things.
Sounds prison-esque.
Yeah.
With the creative, and I'm not trying to give credit, but the creative ways that they can ingest these substances, but B, that they can hide them.
Yes.
So they might be in the mattress or above the door jamb, whatever the case may be. Things that you see on TV that a parent would never think my child has anything to hide inside the door.
Yes. Yes.
That's fascinating.
It is fascinating. If you ever get a chance, it's called the mock bedroom. We set it up. We try to set it up at least 3 times a year at Coyle Library, because they actually have a little room that it sits in, and we make it look like a child's bedroom, and then we hide things, and we ask people to see if they can locate things that might indicate either depression, anxiety, or substance use, and see if they can identify them. It's wildly popular. And then on the converse of that, I don't want to say that all we're doing is sort of having parents sort of look at that negative. We're trying to get kids and families involved in positive things. So 2 big programs for us are Power of Produce. It goes through the North Square Farmers Market every Saturday through the end of the market, which is in November. Kids get tokens that they can spend at the farmers' stands. Every week they get $2 in tokens. Some of them gather them and then they spend it all at once. We teach them recipes. We teach them about healthy foods. So that's one. And then we have our Go Girls Go program, which is an after-school running program. We are now in 3 districts in Franklin County, 6 schools. So exciting. And our next race is November the 2nd. And I can tell you it's exciting. And again, we're trying to instill positive behaviors as well as having them understand where they might be getting into a little bit of trouble.
Karen, I think I could talk to you all day.
Yeah.
I think I could talk to you
agree.
all day.
We should have you
I
back.
was going to say, I
Yeah,
really hope you come back again.
Absolutely, would love to.
Volunteer opportunities, employment opportunities, how do people find you?
So hcpfranklinpa.org is our website. We have volunteer opportunities for Go Girls Go. We're always looking for mentors. We take male and female mentors. The males don't usually do the lessons with us, but they do the running or the walking. And then we also have positions that are open, and that's where we have them, is on our website.
Great. Thank you so much,
Thank
Karen.
you
This
so
was,
much.
This was really very, very interesting.
Yeah.
We appreciate it.
Yep.
Coming up, we're going to take another look at news and sports, and it's all powered by 2A Arms LLC, 2A in PA, Firearms and Freedom.
If you'd like to be featured on an upcoming episode of Let's Talk Tri-State, call 717-597-9200 or email letstalk@921thegoat.com.